Right. That's just what I need. I'm so glad. Okay, let me connect this puppy here and get cracking. So, are you recording audio, video, all that stuff, right?
I'm just doing photos.
Alright, okay, I'll just go through the demo then. Alright, thanks for joining me. So, over the next few minutes, what I want to do is cover Android Auto. As you saw in the keynote today, this is the system where we want to help drivers to get information they need while driving that's easier and safer. So the way we're doing that is to try and avoid this situation, right? You guys have all done this, driving like this, driving like this, driving like this, right? What we want to do is have you plug in the phone, give you a lock screen that entices you to just put it down, all right? So now we're done with the phone, and we can focus on what we want you to focus on, which is the road. And
incredibly distracting street view imagery.
Yeah, of San Francisco. But then also to use the controls you're familiar with as driver, right? So you've got the controls up here, push to talk. In the Audi, they have a system down here for navigating, using the UI. And then also in the Audi, they have a screen up here. It's not a touch screen, it's control down here. My point is that for an Audi driver, this is entirely familiar setup. So, when I've connected my phone, what we want to do is to make sure that the very first thing you see is probably something you want to do. For example, maybe I was searching for a restaurant to eat at this evening, and when I plug my phone in, it recognizes that this is an activity and it's going to suggest something that's going to take me directly to navigation, right? So if we can get to everything in one click, perfect. But we can also look at the other apps we have available here. So we've got navigation and maps. We've got communication, which is telephone and texting. We have media, which is for things like podcasting, music, and then we have car apps. And I'm sort of rotating the controller down here to navigate. The thing I skipped was the welcome screen. This is the first one we were looking at, sort of powered by Google Now, basically, to give you nice contextual information. That's the most useful right off the bat. Okay, so let's take a look at some of these then. Let's go look at media. The default music player here is Google Play Music. I'm just going to play a song and show you how I can use the controls in the vehicle to sort of change the volume, just like I would if I was listening to the radio in an Audi. So that's nice. The other things I can do is sort of use this card area here to do very common actions. And what you'll see in a minute is this is very consistent. It's about keeping your eyes up there and not wondering why everything's different all the time. So I can skip to a different song. I could maybe even use the controls down here, because this is a loud one, down here. But then we have overflow actions as well, right? So for Google Play Music, maybe I want to create a radio station because I like the song, so I'll just click and I get all access music right here. And I can look at the app drawer as well, which gives me not a very long list, not a very deep nested list, but just enough to find everything I would need, like, what am I currently listening to, for example. So that's Google Play Music, but right, we're building a platform here. Android Auto is all about the platform and building really amazing experiences with third parties. And so today we announced those 10 media-centric apps. If I look at the app picker here, we'll see all these apps. And let's just choose one, and I can sort of highlight what is similar and what's different than Play Music, and I think that'll give you a flavor of how we see this evolving. So, Spotify. First thing you notice, it's got some green, right? That's their color. So we can bring in some branding. They can have some different overflow activities here, which is nice. So as a Spotify user, I'm expecting this, even if I'm driving. They have a different way to organize their information here. They can structure it how they want, and it makes sense to the Spotify user that, oh yeah, my playlist, that's what I want, great, that's good, let me do that. But you notice what's similar is the template, right? So it's a nice templated approach so that the driver isn't distracted by constantly having to relearn a different way of interacting with every single app. So this is good for the driver, but it's also good for app developers because there's some structure in there that they can follow, right? And it's not having to imagine and think, oh, how do I do this automotive thing? We can sort of leverage the work we've done with our partners already. So that's the media apps. I can show you another example maybe just to kind of get a sense. Yeah, so this is Joyride. It's podcast-centric. They've got some different controls.
Got windshield wipers.
Yeah, exactly. You know, skipping in a podcast is a common action. They've got different icons, colors, and whatnot. So that's kind of how we expect it to happen. I think that's where all the exciting stuff is going to happen too with these new apps. But let's take a quick look at some other things here. One is communications, which you could consider might be a bit boring, right? You're just making a phone call. But actually, the great thing here is because it's my phone, it just knows who my favorite contacts are, who I've starred, who I've talked to recently. So within a click, I can just call someone, and I'm not doing this on the phone and trying to navigate a big long list of people. It's just, oh, I talk to Michael a lot. Let's put him here. And we'll listen to the ELO there. So let's go turn our music. Let's go turn this off. That actually showcases the heads-up notification. It's part of the Android L developer preview, so I get this nice notification that's not too obtrusive. So we can do that. Pop over to maps. We're in a car after all. Like, where are we? Where are we going? What's near us? And you can see that there's the map application itself is nice and clean. But even down to the details of the map itself, if you sort of notice, but there are fewer labels. The labels are a little bit bigger, like really good for a driver, right? If I'm tearing down the road at 40 miles an hour, and I glance over,
Keep it
I'm
legal,
like,
Dylan.
yeah, exactly. It's just easier. It's just like there's little details that just make all the difference here. But let's go do something more interesting. Navigate to Alamo Square.
Navigating to Alamo Square, San Francisco.
So, with one push to
Street
talk,
northeast on Minna Street. In 600 feet. Use any lane to turn right onto 4th Street.
it's not asking me if I'm sure. It's not asking me which street. It's just taking me directly to what I need, right? But even if I'm in a different
Lane
app,
to turn right onto 4th Street.
we can see that we have the audible, so I don't need to look, but if I do, I see the street name and so forth. There's a really, really nice flow between these apps here. Let me stop this and show you a couple of other things. We have 2 minutes left. We still using your phone. We still know things like, oh, you told us your home address? Great. You were searching for some restaurants? Great. You want to know a little bit more about them? Well, the whole Google Places database is here, so we can tell you where it is, a little bit about what the opening hours are, maybe give you some alternate routes you can check out right there.
And it's all the best thing. It's based on live traffic. I'll be driving home, and like I said, it will actually tell me there's a faster route available.
And you can
just
do the
tap into
dynamic
that.
rerouting,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, so while you're in there, you can choose a different route. You've got categories, so if you're not sure where things are, you're in a new place, you want to just find hotels in this area, well, great, we've got it, right? And then you can just click to navigate. But actually, apart from all the work I've been doing here, frankly, the way we see people interacting with this the most is voice, right? So you can do things like this. What's the weather like?
It's 62 degrees and mostly cloudy in San Francisco.
San Francisco summer, that's great. We can also do things that are relevant to me, not just a sort of a general query. What's my next appointment?
Your next calendar entry is today at 5 p.m. The title is Meet Daniel at Starbucks.
So then you can sort of trigger some other stuff like find Starbucks.
Here are the listings for Starbucks within 0.8 miles.
So there they are. Yep, and I can choose one. So that kind of covers it actually. That's sort of the main things about the system.
Can we do my favorite demo?
Sure.
And go off script. Ask it the weather in Monterey.
What's the weather in Monterey?
It's 65 degrees and mostly cloudy in Monterey.
Now ask it what the hours are for the aquarium.
What are the hours for the aquarium?
Monterey Bay Aquarium is open until 5
Nice.
p.m.
Now do navigate there.
Navigate there.
Navigating to Monterey Bay Aquarium.
So Dylan never even entered a business name.
Right.
He just asked about the aquarium, and because he asked about the weather in Monterey earlier, he knew he was asking about the Monterey Bay Aquarium. He doesn't have to remember an address or anything. He just says navigate there.
Yep.
You can even do navigate
4th
to the
Street
museum
Northeast on
in
Minna Street.
Golden Gate Park that has the Picasso exhibit,
think
and it will know what you're talking. I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah. Patrick, I think they want to.
I'm getting